Welcome, Honorable Ministers. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia. Thank you very much. I think we call the meeting to order. Welcome all of you. This is an IGAD support platform. Thank you very much. Your presence and participation is a testimony to the support you give to this platform. My name is Mohamed Afe. I'm the Special Envoy of the High Commissioner for the Horn. And it's an honor for me to moderate this session this morning. And I'll begin by welcoming all of you. I think as a moderator, I have only one major task, is to get speakers to come and make their remarks. But just to say that this platform was launched in 2019. And this is the second Global Refugee Forum after the one that we did in 2019. 2023 is a very special year for us, because we are celebrating nearly 4 years of the establishment of this support platform. This is one of the innovative approaches in our region in order to galvanize support, both material and political, for our member states. And without taking much of your time, I would like to get Madam Fathia, Director Fathia, to make opening remarks briefly.
Bonjour to all of you. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. My name is Fathia Alwan. I'm the director in charge of the social department, where also the issue of refugees and also migration actually are hosted. Excellencies, actually, I don't have not a speech, but just a small introductory remarks to welcome you, really, all of you, in this important IGAD platform that we have all launched together, as Ambassador Afe has said, in 2019 here in Geneva. Actually also that our IGAD support platform has been one among the 3 support platforms that has been launched in 2019 in Geneva, of course in the presence of the High Commission of Refugees, but also with the presence of our Executive Secretary, Dr. Werkene. Excellencies, Deputy Prime Minister, Demeke Mekanen, Excellencies, Honorable Saïd Nou Hassan, ministre de l'Intérieur de Djibouti, mais also qui assume la présidence, Excellence Hilary Onek, Minister of Relief and Disaster and Preparedness of Refugees from the Republic of Uganda, who is also co-convener of this forum, Excellencies, Mrs. Gillian Triggs, also the Assistant High Commissioners for Protection, UNHCR. Your Excellencies, also Ms. Erika Geriksen, Director of Human Development, Migration, Governance, and Peace at the European Union. Excellencies, also Ms. Adieu Achul, Refugees Delegate Board. All our honorable ministers, delegates, ambassadors, a very good morning to all of you. Just to say that 4 years down in line, we have actually made some progress, but also we have also collected some lessons. And also along the way, we have also identified priorities for the next 4 years in line, which also in line with the global mega pledge and also our member state priority and commitment. But the one thing that also that has will remain true over is the last year, 4 years, actually we have the commitment of our member state for this IGAD support platform. And also much remains, of course, to be done, but we are also very proud of the progress that we have made all together. We'd like also to appreciate, of course, all our partners UNHCR, but also those, of course, European Union who are also member of the IGAD support platform, the World Bank, the Sweden, the Swiss, but also those who will be also joining very soon, and also actually to appreciate their solidarity with our member state, and also we actually be encouraged, but also those will be expressed soon, their willingness to support. I would like also to commend the refugees representative who have also taken an active role in shaping our IGAD support platform, because they have been invited for the last 3 years in all our platform also to listen their voice, because this is very important. I will not say much, but I know that we have made a progress. Of course, we might think it's very slow, but still I think we're all convinced as a region we'll be moving on the right direction. I would like to thank all of you and welcome, bienvenue, and merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Thank you, Director. In the interest of time, and given that some of our colleagues might be having to rush to other side events, I would like to request the UNHCR to come and make remarks. Director, Assistant High Commissioner, Protection, Ms. Gillian Triggs, to make her remarks.
Thank you, Ambassador Afe, and thank you all for joining us on this, this third day of the Global Refugee Forum. It's wonderful to see so many of you here for this very important recognition of the work that's done by IGAD. Thank you, Madam Fathia, for your introduction. And for recognising that some progress has been made, and I think that's what we need to celebrate. Can I recognise Your Excellencies for joining us, and perhaps also recognise Ms. Adieu, who is on our Refugee Advisory Board for the High Commission for Refugees. Thank you very much indeed. It's great to have your voice with us and the voices of each of you. And can I also make in particular a particular thank you to Ambassador Afe. He's been our ambassador for the last 6 years. He's done an outstanding job in the Eastern Horn of Africa. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with you and to have your political and diplomatic skills, which of course help us at UNHCR to get our message across and to get the level of support that we're actually seeing. And I think it's been pointed out, this is 4 years. With these initiatives for the Global Compact, and you've made a very real contribution in the region, so thank you very much. I'm very pleased on behalf of the High Commissioner for Refugees and all of my colleagues to be able to speak at this session, because the IGAD support platform is a very important part of the aspirations of the Global Compact on refugees. The idea of responsibility sharing and burden sharing, but also the whole of society approach. Of course, what we've been doing, and you've seen a lot of this in the last 2 or 3 days, is pledging. And pledging for support of various kinds, including financial support, is very important. But we have to recognise that there are other initiatives in the Compact. The Asylum Capacity Support Group, for example, but these regional support groups are a crucial part of the way the Compact's actually going to work in practice. And if I may say so, I think the support platforms have been one of the successes of the Compact. And IGAD, of course, is one of them. We've seen very positive and impressive examples of the way in which this support platform has been able to work within the region. And I'll speak very quickly because I know, or briefly at least, because I know there are many to follow and we have a lot to get through. But I think this IGAD platform has made a real impact on the lives of refugees and on the lives of their host communities, which is a critical part of how we choose to work. And let me give you just some very quick examples. One is the Djibouti Declaration on Education. The IGAD member states have committed to include refugee children in their national education systems. And that's been a very significant shift to the national curriculum of the host governments, such as in Djibouti itself, which has transformed the approach to education for refugees and has allowed refugee students to receive certification. Absolutely crucial to get that recognition and for them to be able to move on. So thank you. The other example is the a practice of the efforts undertaken by IGAD, the member states, with UNHCR and other partners under the umbrella of the Kampala Declaration on Jobs and Livelihoods for refugees, returnees and hosting communities. In the end, it's inclusion through livelihoods and jobs that gives people dignity and enables them to contribute to the communities that have hosted them and to achieve the dignity and self-sufficiency that's so critical. So thank you for that. And the third example are the durable solutions initiatives for Sudan and South Sudan. We know, of course, about the current conflict in Sudan, a step back, but it's nonetheless been important that South Sudan has adopted the national durable solutions to find ways of responding to the needs of the hundreds of thousands of returnees to South Sudan under extremely difficult circumstances. The second main point that I wanted to make is that IGAD brings particular diplomatic and adversarial skills. Its core strengths are its convening power in the region, from the technical level all the way through to the very senior heads of state. This has proved to be critical in advancing policy dialogue and achieving political commitments that can be carried out in practice within the region. IGAD has had very effective advocacy supporting refugee inclusion, which is so important. I'd like to make the point that when I first sort of read the Global Compact on refugees, I was not very happy about the word that we would equitably share the burdens and responsibilities for refugees, because we don't like to think of refugees as being a burden. But when I've been on mission, I've been to countries, particularly in the IGAD region, it's true, it is a burden. You have to get children into school, they have to be added to healthcare systems. There are all sorts of bureaucratic processes that are necessary to enable people to work. It is a burden, we have to recognise it, and we want to be sure that we're able to support it. So thank you very much for enabling refugee inclusion in those systems. That does bring political consequences, and you've handled them extremely well in a spirit of hospitality and sharing. Thank you also to IGAD's solidarity towards refugees and allowing refugee leaders like Madam Athieu to participate in meetings that have been organised by the IGAD support system. I think that's a big step forward. One other point I'd like to make, and the third major point, is something that IGAD is doing that I don't think anybody else is yet doing. It's a leadership position, and that is, it's one thing to make pledges, it's quite another to implement them. And IGAD is committed to measuring progress in achieving the objectives of the compact. And that is that IGAD has adopted the GCR indicator framework at the regional level. We haven't seen that anywhere else yet, but let's hope others pick it up. But it's important for all of us, our stakeholders, our donors, to be able to show that what we're doing and what you're doing is actually measurable for impact, and we can show what's been achieved. So thank you for that. So can I conclude then by saying UNHCR is committed to working with IGAD to support the concept of the support platforms, which is growing in Africa, and to say that we're very grateful for the commitment of the members of the core group of the support platform and the many other states and actors who are working with the platform. Can I say I'm very pleased to be here with the EU. One of the elements of the platform that's so interesting is it's of course supported by the local regional member states, but it's also supported by the EU in particular and other states and other stakeholders at a more global level, demonstrating the very principle that we want to make, to emphasise here, and that is the global support for the plight of refugees. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Gillian, and thank you for those remarks, and thanks for the kind words. I think in the interest of time, we now take an opportunity to have a brief video on the support platform. So can we play the video, please?
IGAD, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, a regional economic community in the East and Horn of Africa. With a population of over 230 million people, about 18.9 million are forcibly displaced, including 4.5 million refugees and asylum seekers, and over 14 million internally displaced persons due to conflicts and natural disasters. In 2017, IGAD became the first regional economic community to apply commitments of the Comprehensive Refugee Response Framework when IGAD heads of state and governments signed the Nairobi Declaration on Protection and Durable Solutions for Somali Refugees and Reintegration of Returnees in Somalia, commitments of which were extended to all populations of concern in the IGAD region. Member states later signed the Djibouti Declaration in December 2017 to include refugees into the national education system, while the Kampala Declaration on Jobs, Livelihoods and Self-Reliance of Refugees was signed in March 2019. At the December 2019 Global Refugee Forum in Geneva, the IGAD Support Platform was launched as the overall mechanism to coordinate a comprehensive regional response to forced displacement in the IGAD region. In October 2020, the IGAD Support Platform launched the Solution Initiative for the displacement situation in Sudan and South Sudan, while in March 2022, member states endorsed the Mombasa Declaration on Refugee and Cross-Border Health Initiatives. Under the IGAD Support Platform, member states have developed and implemented enabling policies across the thematic areas of education, health, jobs and livelihood, and recently adopted the IGAD Policy Framework on Refugee Protection. The platform has also facilitated learning and exchange collaborations among member states, the training of teachers in refugee settings, inclusion refugees in national statistics, improved monitoring and impact reporting, while helping member states develop costed plans of actions. IGAD is scaling up regional efforts towards sustaining the political momentum and expanding partnerships to provide comprehensive solutions and improve the well-being of refugees, returnees, and host communities amidst the increasing number of the displaced population.
Thank you very much. It's now my pleasure to request
IGAD.
the Executive Secretary of IGAD, Dr. Warkane. And before I request you, Dr. Warkane, I just wanted to say how pleased we are and grateful we are for your leadership and that of the Secretariat for working so hard. And this video is a testimony to the kind of work that the Secretariat and Member States have been able to do the last few years. So can members please join me in a round of applause to the Secretary of the Executive.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Afe, Your Excellency Damak Mokonnen Hassan, Deputy Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia and Foreign Minister. Your Excellency, very happy to see you. Your Excellency, Honorable Said Nur Hassan, Minister of the Interior, the Republic of Djibouti, representing Chair of IGAD. Your Excellency, Honorable Hilary Obalekar Onek, Minister of Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugee, Republic of Uganda. There are a lot of ministers here, so I don't know how I can figure out. At least I have to say my sister, Minister Angelina, and my sister, Minister Oud, who are here, and also delegates, heads of delegates from the region, and also our partners from UNHCR and other regional and international organizations, and most importantly, my colleagues from IGAD. Before I address the reason why we are here together this morning, I take your permission to express my heartfelt gratitude to Ambassador Mohamed Abdi Afe, UNHCR Special Envoy for the Horn of Africa. He is from our region, whose remarkable service is coming to an end. We met furiously yesterday morning, and IGAD and I will certainly look back with fondness of his implacable service. His pioneering role in the Nairobi process has left an indelible mark, and we wish him the very best in his future. And I ask the room to applaud for him. Thank you very much. Also, allow me to share my special acknowledgement to the UNHCR team, led by my very good friend, Mr. Filippo Grandi, who, although is not here with us today, I recently shared a high-level panel to climate change and displacement in Dubai during COP28. For his unwavering support to facilitating this session, making 4 years since the inception of the IGAD Support Forum. Over the past 2 days that this Global Refugee Forum has been in progress so far, IGAD has actively participated in 8 platforms and events, where in addition to our regional situation, we have deliberated, highlighted, and plight and agony and displaced population in our region and specifically in the Republic of Sudan. The challenges that refugees that world over face, as portrayed in the award-winning film, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, is a lived reality. It is not fiction or imagination. I was pleased to see and hear from the co-star of the film, Oscar Award-winning actor and former refugee, Kui Yu Kwan, during the opening plenary session. Currently, in IGAD region harbors one of the highest concentration of displaced population, totaling over 19 million of our brothers and sisters, namely 5 million refugees and 40 million IDPs. This number has raised by over 5 million in the past 4 years, with conflict, natural disasters, and climate change exacerbating the situation. The IGAD member states, despite facing financial constraints, continue to maintain an open door policy to refugees and have made commendable commitment to finding durable solution. So I want to thank all our member states who are the backbone of our regional organization and for generosity, which they are hosting more than 80% of the refugees of our region. Thank you, our member states. Over the last 4 years, sustainable progress has been achieved in various thematic areas. Notably, highlights include the joint declaration signed during the IGAD Eastern African Community High-Level Ministerial Conference of June 2023, the endorsement of Regional Refugee Protection Policy Framework of September 2023, and most notably, the Kampala Declaration that opened the door for private sector involvement to facilitate socio-economic inclusion of the refugees. The IGAD support platform has played a very critical role in training member states, including displacement statistics, which is very important, in national systems, developing a results of framework, and launching the solution initiative for the displacement situation in South Sudan and the Republic of Sudan. With the ongoing war in the Republic of Sudan, Your Excellencies, this refugee platform has taken an added significance because currently, and because of the war, more than 6.3 million people are now living outside of their home. Remember, Your Excellencies, and all the people in this room, that Sudan was one of our biggest refugee hosting country before 1 year. And now they too have to seek protection elsewhere. At least 1.2 million of our brothers and sisters have been forced to seek protection outside of their home country with their families, and another 5.1 or more are internally displaced from their home. It is with this heavy heart that I have to report that Sudan now has the largest child displacement crisis in the world, with 3 million children being forced out of the school to escape widespread violence. We risk having a new lost generation because of this conflict which is happening on the eye of all of us. This commendable efforts has been bolstered by the support of international stakeholders and partners, including the core groups of members, European Union, World Bank, Germany, Sweden, USA, Switzerland, UNHCR, and others. Additional partners such as Australia, Canada, Japan, among others, have also expressed their interest, reflecting growing global commitment to addressing displacement challenges and to work with us on the challenges that we are facing in the region. As we look forward, I want to emphasize two regional pledges agreed upon by our member states. The first pledge focuses on delivering comprehensive solution in the IGAD region, aiming to integrate forcibly displaced population and their host communities into national development strategies. The second pledge zeroes in on climate action, with a focus on protecting and promoting the resilience of climate vulnerable communities. These pledges are undoubtedly ambitious, but is also because the problem they are addressing is of a similar magnitude. We have a critical need for technical and financial and political resources. The economy of our member states remain fragile, and this vulnerability is worsened by the two Cs, that is a climate change and a conflict in our region and beyond. I therefore stress the importance of pledge matching, emphasizing the spirit of burden and responsibility sharing. This matching should not be one-time effort, but sustained beyond the global refugees. In closing, I urge all of us to keep the displaced population on the political and development agendas of our national agenda. Let us collectively strive to ensure that displaced population can lead normal lives like the rest of our society and become productive members of our nation, national, regional, and continental, and ultimately a very productive global citizen. I thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Executive Secretary. I think now it's my pleasure to request a statement from the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, His Excellency Demakal Mekanon. Your Excellency, you have the floor. Mekanon. Yes. Yes, sir.
Excellencies, Ministers, Secretary General, all invited guests, dear participants. It is my honor to join you all to this high-level side event of the IGAD support platform. IGAD support platform was one of the three platforms that were established during the first GRF in 2019, when Ethiopia was co-convener of the Global Refugees Forum. As a region, we have made some progress, new commitments to reiterate our solidarity with the displacement-affected communities. The region really volatile, vulnerable, challenged by different problems, drought-induced problems, conflict-induced challenge, and other related issues. So all the IGAD families and different partners has to march together to address this crisis. For us to make this a reality, there is an urgent need to additional resources and commitment from the international community. Ethiopia has made substantial new pledges and commit to support the regional response for displacement and refugees, including the two regional pledges. Perhaps we officially announced it at the high-level plenary session. We articulated 6 specific and interconnected pledges on this high-level forum. Based on the last year experience, practical engagement, and lessons, the new pledges are very timely, inclusive, and community-oriented agendas. The matter is how to implement these pledges, how to integrate with other initiatives, and how to make it a reality on the ground. In this regard, I really appreciate the IGAD support platforms, IGAD's contribution in the region with defined thematic areas in the security-related areas, on humanitarian support areas, and on climate-related and sustainable development areas. Our mother organization, our regional organization, has to be really supported by different international actors and regional actors. In this regard, really, Ethiopia is committed as pivotal role to play its role to achieve the targets, the new pledges, and additional initiatives. So it is time to march together to address all outstanding problems to build prosperous society and stable region. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Deputy Prime Minister. I think in the interest of time, I would like to request the remaining speakers to be mindful of the time that we have. And I want to request Adiu, a refugee representative, to take the floor now. Do you have the floor?
Hi, everyone. Yes, so as you can see, I'm the youngest speaker here. I'm very grateful for that. Yes, this is how we want Africa to be. We want to blend in. You people telling us youth are the leaders of tomorrow. What about today? You guys are bribing us. Yes. So I go by the name Diu Achul Diu. I'm originally from South Sudan, but I stays in Kenya. I was born and raised in a refugee camp. I was born in Kakuma, and then we had to resettle to Dadaab. It's a different refugee camp in Kenya. So I'm a product of Kenya. I'm also a member of UNHCR Global Advisory Committee that is led by displaced and stateless person. First of all, I would like to convey my appreciation to IGAD for the inclusion of refugees in their locals and regional events. One example is the African Youth Climate Summit in Nairobi, whereby we had more than 25 refugee youth included in the summit. I was also involved. And also the other event was the one in Ethiopia. It was stock meeting or event in Ethiopia. Refugees were included. This means that IGAD are really taking the refugee meaningful participation as a serious note, and we appreciate that, and we want to see more events and refugees be included. With that, for the first, before that, I also wanted to appreciate and give the credit to IGAD for the starting of the GCR a discussion before it was adopted by others organization or other states. Yeah. With that, I also wanted to take a look at some of the progress that have been made by the IGAD regions, inclusive of what have been done for the refugees communities at IGAD region. So one was the access to education. IGAD region countries were able to include refugees in their national education system, where they offer scholarship and enroll refugee children in their national school without any difficulties, following the Djibouti Declaration. With that one, it's some, I mentioned some, not all of them, and I will emphasize that there is a need for state to put more resources to allow more access to education, because I believe education is expensive and it needs resources, time, and energy. So it should be so that it can be implemented. Second is the changing of refugee camps into resettlement area, integration of refugees into host communities that brought peace, cohesion between the host and the refugees community. We are grateful for that, but is that the durable solution? It's a question. I just leave it at that point. And then the other one is the improvement of livelihood opportunities in the refugees camp and social economic empowerment following the Kampala Declaration. So with this one, I've seen so far refugees involved in micro businesses, access to finance and loans in the refugee camps. The last point is the improvement of documentation and development of new policies in the IGAD, in some IGAD states. The production of machine-readable CTD or conventional traveling document was first produced in the IGAD region. I'm very proud to say this, Kenya being the among and others coming, but still more resources are needed. So those IGAD countries or states that have not yet produced such machine-readable should be able to produce, so that refugees should have an access to freedom of movement within and outside of the IGAD territories. And with that one, I also wanted to request if IGAD can figure it out, how is that the refugees don't have the freedom of movement? When, for instance, I'm moving from Kenya with my conventional traveling document to Uganda, I'll have to pay for a visa. But if I was using my South Sudanese passport, I don't have to pay for a visa. We are advocating for free visa. Yes. So if it is a region, it should be a region. It should be inclusive, either you're a refugee or not. Yes. Thank you for that. And some of the things that I want, or we, the refugees, want IGAD to focus or to put more effort. Number one is peace. Peace is very fundamental, and it's a backbone of a country. A country cannot grow without peace. So this is one thing that IGAD should put more effort, more energy on it. And then the second thing was we, the refugees, are requesting for IGAD to create a refugee secretariat for meaningful participation. So we need a refugee secretariat that will be able to follow up. Like, for instance, this event, we don't want to come and talk and go without following this, what is happening, what have been done so far. My last point is putting warning system for natural disasters. Like, for example, if an IGAD is able to put a warning disaster for their region, it will be able to indicate this region is likely going to face this challenge and this challenge, just to make sure that all human beings are safe and everything is fine. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for those wonderful remarks. The European Union is a very important partner in the IGAD support platform. And I would like to give the floor now to Ms. Erika Geretsen, Director of Human Development, Migration, Governance, and Peace. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Chair. It is a real honor for me to speak today here in this event, representing the European Union and sharing our strengthened and continuous support, indeed, to the Nairobi process and the IGAD support platform. Allow me to thank the UNHCR, IGAD, and the IGAD member states for the very strong and fruitful cooperation supporting 4.5 million refugees and asylum seekers in across the region. Thanks also to the UNHCR for convening this event, but most importantly, I would say I would like to welcome the very impressive political leadership that is shown today from the IGAD member states and your engagement in making this support platform a success. Indeed, in December 2018, the UN General Assembly affirmed the Global Compact on Refugees as a landmark effort to build a framework for action on refugees based on fundamental principles of humanity and international solidarity. And as the framework for engagement for the international community, the JCR makes it possible for host countries and countries of origin to activate this support platform mechanism to help them galvanize actions around large-scale and protracted refugee situations. The EU supports this approach because it ensures a holistic, broadened base of support, including not only the states, but also all the other actors who are critical in the comprehensive response, such as, of course, development partners, but also civil society, and very important role of civil society in all these discussions, as we all know, but also academia as well as the private sector. And as part of the Nexus pledge that we made already yesterday in the Nexus event, the EU will provide €5 million to support platforms in sub-Saharan Africa, notably the IGAD platform, but also the newly launched platform on the Central African Republic. The EU has been a keen supporter of the Nairobi process ever since the adoption of the Nairobi Action Plan in March 2017, and which mandated the IGAD in collaboration with the UNHCR and other development partners, including the EU, but also EU member states and others, to operationalize the paradigm shifts in addressing forced displacement and mixed migration from a humanitarian and security challenge to a development challenge. And since then, indeed, important milestones were reached, including the signing of the Djibouti Declaration on Regional Refugee Education, which Mrs. Trix already referred to, which has the objective of including refugees in the education system, in the national education systems, as well as the Kampala Declaration on Jobs, Livelihoods and Self-Reliance for Refugees, returnees and host communities in the IGAD region. And I think that these two declarations really reflect and translate this nexus approach from humanitarian to development and indeed peace approach. The IGAD support platform serves as a guiding platform and a model for other platforms currently operationalized worldwide. And I think IGAD could be proud of having achieved this result. So the EU salutes IGAD's and its member states' commitment to use this platform to cement and sustain the existing IGAD-led process to strengthen international solidarity and responsibility sharing. In particular, the EU is supporting IGAD by helping to do many different things, but more specifically, I would like to emphasize the support to conducive, peaceful and enabling environment for solutions to refugees, IDPs and returnees in Sudan and South Sudan, which is this solutions initiative that has also been referred to in those two countries, but also in the host countries in the region, with a particular attention to women and to youth, the leaders of today. Maybe a few things have been said about data, and I believe that data are indeed important in this environment. And as we are looking forward, maybe from our side, a call for a need for more evidence. As we are calling indeed to broaden the donor base, it's important to provide the evidence about the needs of the affected populations, which currently might lack visibility. So as much as we have evidence and data, we can make the case for a broadened partnership approach, and also information management, where we need to ensure that the quality of the data and all the data are available, and that different sets of data are brought together to strengthen the information around the situation. Looking ahead, for the upcoming years, the EU is committed to sustaining and enhancing our financial backing for the IGAD region, including in Uganda, where we have several projects to ease the pressure in displacement-affected communities underway. We are currently exploring avenues to significantly increase our support for foreseeably displaced people and host communities in the region. And while we are still working on the details of this further support that we are working on, rest assured that substantial resources are being considered to make a meaningful impact in the region and for those communities. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much, EU. It's now my pleasure to request His Excellency Saeed Noor Hassan, Minister of Interior Djibouti and the Chair of IGAD, to make a statement.
Monsieur le ministre of Relief and Disaster de l'Ouganda, pays co-organisateur de ce forum, Mesdames et Messieurs les ministres présents dans cette salle, Mesdames et Messieurs les ministres, les ambassadeurs, bien sûr, je voudrais à mon tour saluer l'ambassadeur Abdi Affé pour tout l'effort et le travail qu'il a fait pendant les 4 années qu'il a travaillé donc, dans son domaine. Et on espère que, effectivement, nous nous rencontrerons dans d'autres contrées. Monsieur le secrétaire exécutif de l'IGAD, Dr Workene, Madame Gillian Higgins, représentante du Haut-Commissaire des Nations Unies pour les réfugiés, Madame Guerrica, représentante de l'Union européenne, Madame Adieu, représentante des réfugiés, Mesdames et Messieurs, bonjour. C'est pour moi un plaisir de me retrouver parmi vous à l'occasion de cet événement parallèle de haut niveau, en marge du second forum mondial sur les réfugiés de 2023, consacré à la plateforme de soutien de l'IGAD. Cette plateforme constitue un mécanisme important dans la recherche de solutions durables en faveur des réfugiés de notre région et nécessite l'appui de tous les partenaires techniques et financiers dans la réalisation de ces objectifs. Mesdames et Messieurs, le 23 novembre dernier, à Addis Abeba, en Éthiopie, lors du lancement de la plateforme d'appui et du bilan de la déclaration de Nairobi, nous nous étions engagés en tant que pays membre de l'IGAD à accélérer la mise en œuvre des plans nationaux d'intervention chiffrés afin d'appuyer la réalisation de nos engagements pris dans le cadre de la déclaration et du plan d'action de Nairobi, ainsi que les déclarations et les plans d'action ultérieurs de l'éducation, de la santé, de l'emploi, ainsi que les moyens de subsistance et bien d'autres priorités émergentes. Cependant, il est à noter que la réussite et le renforcement de nos engagements restent largement tributaires de la situation dans notre région qui est marquée par des conflits récurrents et des turbulences politiques qui rendent difficile la recherche d'une solution durable pour les réfugiés. En effet, plus de 4,7 millions de réfugiés et demandeurs d'asile, les États membres de l'IGAD abrite l'une des plus grandes populations de personnes déplacées en raison des facteurs tels que les conflits, auxquels s'ajoutent les effets des changements climatiques, ainsi que l'absence d'opportunités économiques. C'est pourquoi il est primordial pour notre région d'œuvrer à la recherche et au plaidoyer en faveur d'une réponse régionale, globale, aux déplacements forcés dans la région de l'IGAD, comme c'est le cas à travers la plateforme de soutien de l'IGAD que nous concevons comme un catalyseur dans notre région. Cependant, il nous faut souligner ici de mettre en exergue le contraste entre, d'une part, les efforts continus des États dans notre région pour mieux protéger ces populations et, d'autre part, le désengagement progressif des partenaires techniques et financiers. C'est pourquoi je voudrais profiter de cette occasion pour lancer un appel à tous les partenaires internationaux en faveur du renforcement de leurs appuis à la plateforme de soutien de l'IGAD, notamment à travers un financement prévisible et pluriannuel. Mesdames et Messieurs, il nous semble important que les expériences régionales doivent pouvoir être mises en valeur et servir d'inspiration dans les domaines où des progrès tangibles ont été réalisés, comme c'est le cas dans notre région. Ces approches et expériences régionales doivent être soutenues et encouragées en vue de la réalisation des objectifs du Pacte mondial pour les réfugiés. Nous sommes persuadés que l'IGAD, institution au service de notre région, saura améliorer encore davantage le cadre de protection en illustrant à travers des actions concrètes, et ceci dans le sens du slogan de ce second forum mondial sur les réfugiés, à savoir action, unité et impact. Je vous remercie pour votre aimable attention.
Thank you very much, Minister. Uganda is this year's co-convener of the Global Refugee Forum, and to give us remarks on behalf of Uganda is Minister Hilary Onek, Minister for Relief, Disaster and Preparedness. Minister, you have the floor.
The Honorable Demeke Mekonnen, Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister of the Republic of Ethiopia, ministers present. Actually, we have a number of ministers. We came about 8 ministers from Uganda. I see about 4 here. And also all other ministers from other countries. That one shows the seriousness by which we take the Global Refugee Forum. Distinguished heads of governments and delegations, distinguished officials and partners present, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, and protocol observed. Good morning to you all. I bring to you warm greetings from His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, who should have been here at the Global Refugee Forum as a convener, and he sent his warm regards to all members. As an IGAD founding member state since 1986 and a co-convener of the present Global Refugee Forum 2023, I do welcome you all to this high-level event on IGAD support platform for the Global Compact on Refugees with the theme, Regional Approach to Finding Solutions for Refugees, Returnees, and Host Communities in IGAD region. I thank IGAD for really their efforts to integrate the processes in our region and in East Africa and the Horn of Africa, and to regularize, to make sure our refugee programs are coordinated. Uganda has a rich history of hosting refugees and asylum seekers. Our sustained stability, favorable policies, and welcoming nature of our citizens has made our country a favorable shelter for largely our neighbors escaping political and other unrest in their homes. Of course, some also, maybe because of harsher economic challenges in their countries, Uganda offers them opportunities. Uganda is also the fourth largest refugee hosting nation in the world and the leading nation in Africa. At the end of November 2023, we registered a total of about 1,610,000 refugees in Uganda currently. Ladies and gentlemen, the Republic of Uganda has an obligation both under the international and Ugandan laws to offer security and protection services to all persons, irrespective of their status within its jurisdiction. Uganda is also a signatory to several instruments on refugees, including the 1951 Convention relating to status of refugees and its 1967 protocol, the 1969 OAU Convention, the 2016 New York Declaration on Global Compact for Refugees, and the 2019 Global Refugee Framework, I think, to which all your countries are also signatories. So Uganda is also a party to several regional commitments on refugee protection, like the Nairobi Declaration, the Kampala Declaration, the Djibouti Declaration, the Mombasa Declaration. Too many declarations without action. Too many declarations without action. I take note mainly of the, with minimal actions, I think you. I want to take note of the Munyonyo Declaration in June this year, together with other regional commitments. In line with the commitments, Uganda has made significant milestones towards providing solutions to the protracted refugee situation in the Horn and East Africa and the Great Lakes region. In Munyonyo, I do recall that in Kampala, Munyonyo, we agreed on having common policies on refugees in the Horn of Africa, East Africa, and the Great Lakes. All those ministers who attended appended their signatures to that. We also agreed to reduce on causes of displacement. In other words, we make sure we contribute to our countries being peaceful and enable and tolerant to their citizens, irrespective of their political differences or views, so that they don't have to run away to exile. I think we agreed on that. We also agreed to enhance bilateral cooperation, to which I'm grateful. IGAD is really keeping pace with that, and we kept us together today to share on some of these values that we agreed on at Munyonyo. Uganda continues to present a number of best practices in the region and beyond, for which many other countries are sharing. These practices are largely enshrined in the Refugee Act of 2006, that's our law, and its regulation of 2009, through which Uganda operates a settlement-based policy using comprehensive refugee response framework and with an open door policy for all those fleeing persecution and generalized insecurity in their countries of origin. Uganda's refugee approach has two aims. Number one, really, our people are humane. Really, we feel sorry for people who suffer. And maybe because of our religious, sometimes, background, we feel we have to give help to anybody who is in problem, who is being persecuted, who can even lose their lives. And in doing so, some of these people, when they come as refugees, they are less informed about global issues, they are not educated, in other words. And we ensure that they are empowered through education, through other development, like giving them skills, etc. And then empowering them to feel they can contribute and be just equal human beings like anybody else in our country. We don't distinguish a refugee or a citizen, we are all the same. We accept that we don't allow them to participate in politics. Because politics is in the first instance what chased them from their country. So we don't want them again to get into politics in Uganda. But they can be employed, they can do anything else. So, and then that means really we socially include them in our economic processes and everything. We are doing this because we know when they return to their countries, they will definitely be much more useful citizens in their own countries. By promoting socio-economic inclusion of refugees, we are collectively preparing them for the eventual voluntary repatriation to their home countries where they could be very useful citizens there. I would like to take this opportunity to thank IGAD for organizing this high-level side event and for the continuous regional efforts in supporting and coordinating member states in issues of refugees protection. I do acknowledge and appreciate our donors. Our donors have done great to help us, really, to keep these refugees and to support them. I do acknowledge and appreciate them. I do acknowledge and appreciate the humanitarian and development partners' support for our continued refugee progressive policy benefiting many refugees largely from within our region of IGAD, East African Community, and the Great Lakes. This leads me to the clarion call to the international community and the private sector partners. I urge you to increase your financial and technical support to promote the socio-economic inclusion of refugees. The policy commitments the government of Uganda continue to make will only yield desired results with your enhanced support. And actually, with all our neighborhoods in the region, if we adopt the same practice, we should get equally the support to ensure that refugees are treated well, equally, regionally. They are given opportunity, they are developed to a level whereby if they go back to their citizens, they become useful. We have refugees who are in Uganda before, but today they are presidents in their countries. It is just because we build them up, we develop them to reach that level of leadership. And this is the same thing that I would wish every IGAD, East African Community, and the region do to the refugees, to make sure that they are given potential to be really useful citizens when they go back to their countries. building the necessary self-reliance and resilience for refugees and host communities. Of course, in our countries, we also have host communities who are equally economically not endowed, who need also support. I therefore urge you to match your pledges with the necessary action that will ensure good results. As we endeavor to create conducive environment for refugees in our country, we would not forget that viable solutions. To this end, I would like to emphasize that we regard peace and stability in refugee countries of origin as integral to the realistic quest for refugee settlement. It is for this reason that Uganda is investing heavily in peace efforts in the region. We have tried. In Somalia, we went to keep peace, but we didn't find peace there. So we decided to enforce peace now. You know, if peace is not there, we have to enforce it to make sure peace is there. Nothing else we can do. So we have to see that our region is peaceful to avoid these calamities to humanity. In conclusion, I would like to reiterate Uganda's commitment to the refugee cause. We look forward to working with the international community and local partners to facilitate a dignified environment for refugees in Uganda, and also in your countries, even as we prioritize voluntary return to their homes, should conditions in their country of origin permit. Thank you very much for listening to me. And I took a little bit longer because I'm a co-convener, so there's no problem.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Minister. We have a big challenge now. We have 14 other speakers to take the floor, and in the next 10 minutes we have to leave the room. So we have to find the way to reconcile this. But I would like to request, particularly the governments, just to take 1 minute each, 1.5 minutes maximum, so that we can be able to make some progress. Ethiopia, Prime Minister made a statement. If you would like to make one again. 1 minute, Your Excellency.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Ambassador Afe, for inviting us. Let me reiterate the government's unwavering commitment toward the IGAD support platform on the Nairobi process. Additionally, I wish to stress the importance of implementing the thematic declaration on education, jobs and livelihoods, health and the protection of refugees, returnees and host communities. In this context, I'm honored to share the achievements and the progress made by the government of Ethiopia in fulfilling our commitments and addressing the needs of refugees, returnees and host communities in the IGAD region. Ethiopia has made significant strides providing essential documents for refugees, asylum seekers, including ID cards, proof of registration, vital events registration certificates, and travel documents. Under the Refugee Proclamation of 2090, you have created an enabling environment for the implementation of Kampala Declaration. The Kabriwaya Roadmap and Malkadida Compact, a local development solution for Somali refugees and host communities
Thank you, Taiba.
Somali region is. This is really difficult to finish in one minute.
Yeah.
So
We are all under pressure, Taiba.
yes, in conclusion, just to conclude my remark, the government is hopeful that multi-stakeholder pledge will catalyze synergy, matching opportunity and resource mobilization. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Sorry, we have to do this. Kenya, Permanent Secretary, you have a minute and a half. Apologies for this, but we have to do this now.
Okay, Executive Secretary of IGAD, Special Envoy, Excellencies, Ministers, Member States, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to join you this morning on behalf of Kenya to read this statement. We appreciate the work that IGAD is doing in responding to issues of forced displacement and more specifically refugees and asylum seekers. Kenya has a long history of hosting refugees from the region, Great Lakes, Horn of Africa, and the entire Eastern Africa. Through IGAD support platform, which has facilitated various thematic agreements and declarations, we have been part of efforts to implement the principles of Global Compact for Refugees, GCR. As we take stock of the country-specific pledges from 2019, I'm glad that we are also taking stock of the efforts by IGAD, notably Nairobi Declaration, Djibouti Declaration, Kampala Declaration, to assess the progress and build on the implementation gaps.
Thank you, PS.
Kenya has progressively enhanced opportunities for social inclusion in education, healthcare, social protection, CIDPs, jobs, and notably, Kenya has enacted what we call Refugee Act of 2021 and also gazetted refugee documents that help refugees be able to enjoy some of the government services. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I assure you of Kenya's commitment to refugees and asylum seekers. We call for responsibility sharing that is commensurate to efforts made by host countries. The implementation of the objectives of GCR should be done simultaneously. We should advocate for inclusive programs that ensure host communities are not left behind and those that build resilience and self-reliance. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much. Somalia, you have the floor. Somalia. Commissioner, quickly, please.
I apologize. We had I have to jump back and forth for other events. I thank you so much. IGAD, thank you for the great work that you have really doing in the region. My name is Safia Mohammed, Commissioner for Refugee and IDPs in Somalia. I joined the office 5 months ago. We have a lot of work ahead of us. As Somalia carries a country for hosting 37,000 refugees from neighboring countries, also have nearly 1 million spread in neighbors' country. Also, we have 3 million numbers of IDP displaced community in the country. Now, you as all know, the flooding is really causing us a crisis. And an approach of a dry season approaching, the government has a little to offer, and there's no plan for that. I'm asking IGAD and the partners and the donors and everyone, we have to stand. Really, tonight I'm flying back in Mogadishu, but people in the Dab and Dolo need urgent attention. We really need to give those people attention. A mother who lost her kid in front of her eyes because of electricity caused by climate fell into her house and the water, and she cannot save it because you see the child is dying in 2 ways: electricity that fallen and the water. Also, the cars are locked in. People are stuck in the cars because the water. Roads are broken. People are dying. Really, there's no time for us to talk. Those people are waiting for me. I'm flying back to Mogadishu tonight. And the message I'm taking there is that we as a nation of the world are standing, we're united to support where the need is. We need to come a different approach, different than we used to. We have to be really realistic about what we're doing there. We have done, I'm repeating, IGAD has done a great job, but I want to say, my dear, I missed it. That's why I'm going to repeat it. Really give me extra. Because I just came from another conference, and I want to say, I am speaking the refugees, IDPs, displaced, who really need full attention. And I thank you so much, IGAD, for all the policies that you did. Somalia is a great country who has really passed the second in Africa in IDB law. That means we are really standing for displaced community, mostly affected women and children. All of the women here and brothers, let's support.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, IGAD.
Thank you. I recognize the presence of the German ambassador in Geneva. Thank you, Your Excellency, for coming. South Sudan. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought they told me to recognize.
Thank you very much. In
Apologies.
1 minute, I just want to appreciate this platform. It's a very, very crucial platform. We as South Sudanese, or the Republic of South Sudan, is a receiver of refugees, IDPs, returnees. The numbers are big. We're struggling. We have an open door policy. We have allowed refugees to go into our schools. Their children are taking exams as our children. Actually, we even exempted them. Our health service is for access. So, and the job market is open to all, but the country is struggling. We have problems. We have issues. So that's why this platform is very important. And I also would want to add my voice for the plea for more funding. Right now, as we speak, the refugees, and I must say this, in Uganda, in the Republic of South Sudan, in Ethiopia, the food and the funding has drastically reduced. Now refugees are hungry. We're talking about education, we're talking about health service, but now there's no food as we speak. I'm putting this appeal because people are returning from Ethiopia because there is no food in the refugee camps. People are returning from Uganda because they are also suffering there. There is no food because of the reduction in funding. This is key. I also want to reiterate, and I want to add our voice, all the protocols that have been signed, we are for them. We are now starting a process of registration. So the data is very important because we also want to give travel documents. We want to end statelessness. And these are commitments that we made, they are pledges, and the ball is rolling. We have a Refugee Act that addresses all those issues and concerns of the refugees. This is simply because we were all refugees. The majority of us are refugees. What the minister from Uganda said, that there were refugees in Uganda, refugees in other places, who are now leaders in their own countries. Being a refugee does not mean life stops. Wherever you go and take refuge, life is to continue. And life and potential is to be nurtured. And people are to be supported because whatever one day you spend is one day off of your life. And this world deserves to benefit from that potential, and especially from the refugees. And I thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you very much.
Thank you for not
Thank
calling
you
me
very
out.
much. Sudan. 1 minute, Commissioner.
Assalamu alaikum all. Protocol observed, and I wanted to, in this 1 minute, to say that Sudan have just concluded drafting of the pledges, 7 pledges. No time to mention who the pledges on what field, but then our base was the Durable Solutions Initiative in Sudan, which is already being endorsed by our highest level government, the authority, and also the different IGAD declarations, which was described as too many, but are our reference. And also our reference is our law, humanitarian, the refugee or asylum organizing law, all of these. And finally, CORE, our Commission on Refugee, has a strategic plan. And this strategic plan, all of these documents were the base of our pledges. The pledges are under make now.
Thank you, Commissioner.
We have this, and we wanted the approval of the highest level of government, and then we'll load them there. I want to thank, one is particularly not because to give you more time, but I wanted to thank our Ambassador Afe for his role. Very, very important role in Sudan, and I know he is coming to the end of the term, but this is my plea that term to be renewed, not because to give you more time.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Commissioner.
And also, it is very important to mention that in our durable solution strategy is now active, and we are implementing. the focal point, the agency which is supporting this is now back after 6 months of hold. And we have even started that
Thank you, Commissioner.
Structured
Thank you very
with
much.
new figures of IDPs. And I wanted to tell you that this is 16,000 and not as mentioned in and the statement of the Secretary General of IGAD. So we have 16,000 and we have a report. We can share it with IGAD. So it's actually
Thank you.
a new reference. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Djibouti, have a minute, please.
I speak French. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Je ne vais pas prendre beaucoup de temps parce qu'il y a la partenaire qui nous attend. Tout le monde de l'IGAD ont parlé, mais je vais vous dire là, les réfugiés ont les mêmes droits que les Djiboutiens. Le président de la République, son Excellence Ismaïl Omar Guelleh, a promulgué une loi et des décrets qui ont le même droit que les Djiboutiens. Par exemple, il n'y a pas de camp chez nous. Les camps est Apouli, ce sont des villages. Les cartes des réfugiés prévoient un permis de travail. On ne fait pas, comment dirais-je là, une autorisation de travail. Les cartes des réfugiés est équivalent à un permis de travail. Les élèves des réfugiés sont accès à l'université. Il y a 2 élèves actuellement qui vont partir à l'étranger, qui ont bénéficié le pouce excellent du président de la République de Djibouti. Ce qui prouve, c'est-à-dire que les Djiboutiens et les réfugiés ont les mêmes droits aux études, à l'accès à la santé, à tout.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Je vous remercie vraiment de votre aimable attention.
Merci beaucoup. Germany.
So thank you very much. I will be brief. We know this from the Human Rights Council here in Geneva. So, well, cross-border coordination and local ownership are so important when we want to achieve durable solutions, but also peace and stability and development. And I really want to commend IGAD for everything you have done, and most recently through your tireless work for peace in Ethiopia and Sudan. My own government, Germany, has been working closely with IGAD for over 25 years, and we will continue to support IGAD as a key partner in the region. In May 2023, we were able to make a few new commitments, actually quite a substantial one, 29 million euro for a climate risk fund and a project in the area of climate-related migration. And as a partner for the IGAD support platform, we are promoting the implementation of the Nairobi process. So action follow words. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Australia. 1 minute, Australia.
Thank
Sort
you,
of Australia.
Excellencies. I'm here. Thank you, Excellencies, Ministers, all protocols observed. I just wanted to say that Australia recognises the substantial generosity of host countries in the region and the important initiatives that IGAD and others are doing to support refugees and IDPs. But we are concerned by the underfunded humanitarian response in Sudan and surrounding countries. And as the Honourable Executive Secretary of IGAD said, this is the largest child displacement crisis in the world. We're very pleased to support this pledge, and we're committing a further 10 million Australian dollars through the UNHCR and ICRC in Sudan and neighbouring countries, bringing our total assistance to over 20 million since May 2023. And we would like to call on others to step up and provide further support to this crisis and to the amazing work that you are all doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Sweden, Ambassador of Sweden, Your Excellency, Sweden.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. It is inspiring to witness the progress made by IGAD since the first forum and its adoption of a regional approach to address the needs of those affected by displacement. Sweden is a core member of the platform. takes pride in contributing to the implementation of the Nairobi Declaration and working towards finding sustainable solutions for refugees and host communities. Our support to IGAD through the program towards a common regional mechanism for refugee management and the development and endorsement of the IGAD policy framework on refugee protection is a key outcome of this program and will serve as a guiding tool for regional responses to refugee management. To conclude, we are looking forward to witnessing tangible results for individuals affected by forced displacement, and these frameworks are operationalized. I would like to thank IGAD and IGAD member states for your dedication to these critical matters.
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate the energy in this room, and let's take this into the operationalization of the frameworks. Thank you very much.
The World Bank. The World Bank.
Thank you very much, Ambassador.
Canada.
I'm going to try to be the shortest speaker. So just to applaud, thank IGAD's leadership, vision, commitment, and efforts in what is a most difficult challenge, and to reiterate the World Bank's commitment to support you, both at country level and at regional level. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. JICA.
So on behalf of JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, I have two things to say. First is that I would like to join my voice to congratulate IGAD, and because we believe the importance of this regional framework, regional cooperation to promote refugee self-reliance and peaceful coexistence with the host communities and promoting peace. And secondly, I also echo the bank statement to the importance of operationalizing this declaration into action. And for that, the discussion yesterday on the HDP Nexus, Humanitarian Development Peace Nexus, is very, very important. And we wish to continue our dialogue with the IGAD Secretariat as well as the member states so that we will be making an impact on the ground.
Thank you very much. Regional Durable Solutions Secretariat. 1 minute.
The marathon continues. Thank you very much. My name is Freddie Carver, and I'm the Director of the Regional Durable Solutions Secretariat, or REDS, a platform of NGOs working in the region to promote durable solutions through policy, practice, and working with different stakeholders. And I just want to add my words of commendation to the approach that IGAD takes. If IGAD didn't exist in the region, we would need to invent it. These are hard challenges. They are hard challenges for national states to deal with. They involve movement across borders, they need cooperation. And I think the platform that IGAD provides, the different involvement of the member states is really critical as we take forwards and explore how we respond to mobility in the region. But I really commend IGAD for its openness. We have worked very closely with the IGAD team over the last few years, and we will continue to do so. There is a real willingness to think differently, to challenge, to find ways to have difficult and real conversations, and I hope we can do more of that in the coming years.
Thank you.
Particularly,
Thank you
I
very
hope
much.
we can do more to work on accountability to displaced populations, and I'm keen to explore that conversation further.
Thank you.
So thank you very
Canada.
much.
Canada. Have I, Canada? I think then we have exhausted our list. Thank you very much. A round of applause for everybody. Finally, I'll get to Dr. Warkane, the Executive Secretary of IGAD, to make his closing remarks.
1 minute. Thank you very much. Really, this is another very important demonstration of solidarity for what IGAD is doing. Number one, I have seen a very great turnout for our member states, which is a clear demonstration of political support for this endeavor. So I want to thank the leadership of all our member states. The second one is our partners who are here, even who are running to make 30-second statement. This is also another commitment. So I want to thank all of you. Finally, for representatives of refugees, who are the real actors, who are the one who knows everything from end to end. So on behalf of IGAD Secretariat, I want to thank all the contribution and collaboration while they are working with me. Finally, this happened because of my team. So I want to thank the team which is led by Madam Fatia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The session is formally closed. Thank you very much.